I'm here with Rocky and Adrian, of course. So Rocky, a very green, obviously some kind of parrot. Fascinating birds. We find lots of them in Australia. So what kind of parrot are we looking at here?
So Rocky is called an Eclectus Parrot.
An Eclectus Parrot.
An
Okay.
Eclectus Parrot.
So whereabouts in Australia do we find them?
So he's found up in far north Queensland, in the rainforests. You do find him in Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands as well.
So rainforesty kind of habitat?
Yeah, that's right. So he's got those beautiful green colours for camouflaging him with that environment. You'll see him up there eating fruits and things from the trees.
Okay, because it's interesting, because the beak, the beak that we see that parrots have is often that shape, and that's specifically useful for...
Yeah, well, he's got a pair of bolt cutters on his face, so he can break open woody nuts and fruits with his beak. If they're nesting, because most parrots nest in hollows, tree hollows, they can excavate out the hollows with their beak. They climb with their face, their beak and their feet, and they can defend themselves with their beak too. So it's quite powerful. There are some parrots that can bite fingers off your hands.
Best not have that happen, or if it does, at least we'll have it on video. And the interesting thing, of course, with beaks is that, so as we know, birds are dinosaurs, and we think that one of the reasons that the bird family of dinosaurs survived, whereas the others didn't, because people often talk, oh, they could fly. Well, there were some dinosaurs that could fly that didn't survive. Or they could do this, they were small, they were... Beaks. Beaks allow you to crack open things like seeds and get the nourishment from them. He's quite a noisy little thing, isn't he? So, gonna see if he'll come back, which is great. This is a great thing about doing videos. Oh, there he goes. You would have seen him fly then.
Yeah.
Adrian's just gonna go over there.
I'm going to go over there now.
So he's going to go over there while Adrian's doing that. So yes, so birds we think survived because of that particular feature of beaks. And now the other interesting thing with Rocky is that we see in a lot of birds feet that have got 3 toes at the front and 1 at the back, or none at the back. Like you look at emus and stuff. But Rocky's got 2 that way and 2 that way.
Is that called Zygodactylus?
Zygodactylus. And is that a common thing amongst parrots? Do they all have feet like that?
All the parrots have feet like that, yeah.
All the parrots. So what do you know what the advantage of that sort of foot is?
That's a good question. I can only assume climbing, perching. Yeah, great question.
And I suppose when we look in there where they live, they do, as you were talking about, they use their beaks and their feet for climbing. And so we heard Rocky screeching before. What are they like to have as a pet, and how did you come about? How did Rocky come to live here at Animals Anonymous?
He's a captive bred Eclectus Parrot, and I thought it'd be great to have a bird like a parrot I could fly around classrooms, so he does just that, as you saw. So he was bred by some friends of mine on the East Coast, and we drove over and picked him up, and for the first couple of days we only handled him with gloves on because we didn't know what he was like, and it turns out that he's actually quite good. So.
Okay, and because parrots and some birds live quite a long time, don't they?
Yeah, some can live a very long time. I mean, these can live many decades. Yeah.
So how old's Rocky?
Rocky's about 7, 8 years old now.
Yeah, and in terms of captive food, what sort of things would you do for Rocky's diet in feeding him?
Lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, and occasionally a little bit of seed just as a reward, just to get him to fly to me.
Yep, and I noticed before you were giving him peanuts.
I had some peanuts, yeah.
So do you break it out of the shell, or is it sometimes you do that and sometimes he'll break the shell open himself? Yeah,
just then I did, but normally I give him the whole shell. So when I feed any of my animals here, I don't peel any fruit. I don't break any shells.
You don't give them cutlery, you don't lay it all out, so it's as natural.
Yeah, it's enrichment for the animals.
As you possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so we were talking about age. So Rocky's 7, and these parrots live for many years.
Yep.
So if you're going to have a pet parrot, don't be 95 years old and get a pet parrot.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Or if you do have a plan, or if you're getting a parrot, be cognizant of what age you are, In the same way that, yes, it's really important to, I guess, know the animal, but not just its age, its behaviour. So in terms of having parrots in captivity, what are maybe a couple of things that people should be aware of?
They can be very noisy. You also, I mean, they're all a little bit different. So Rocky free ranges. This is his enclosure. So we are right now in Rocky's enclosure. He free ranges the entire house.
This is his. It's not yours.
No, this is his house. He does have an enclosure in my room I can put him in. So if I'm doing something like cooking or anything that could be dangerous for him. Some individuals can eat power cords and things. We don't want that. So it's knowing that particular individual. I've got perches where he can fly to, so he knows his little places where he can go to. But yeah, the volume can be an issue. Like when new people come to the house, he can scream. But he's normally pretty good.
I can vouch. I've had him on my. I had him on my shoulder the other day, and I was trying to walk around with it, and he wouldn't. And I leant over, and he kept. And then he screamed. Well, I made a noise. I don't. Was it like a friendly hello?
It's some kind of an alarm call. Like, there's a new person. Everybody must know about this person.
Aye, and I found once I'd been here for a while, he kind of settled down.
Yeah, gets used to you.
Because and I think we forget sometimes how smart and intelligent birds are. So what do you think when somebody calls Rocky or calls somebody a bird brain?
I half agree. No, they are very smart. They're very smart. It's very hard to gauge intelligence. We normally use like a comparison to us on how intelligent something is, but if like a sleepy lizard might have its own intelligence in there that we just don't relate to, they might have a lot going on up there.
Yeah, and things that help it survive and adapt and whatever. Well, thank you, Rocky. Good to see you. Good to see you as always, Adrian.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time with Adrian from Animals Anonymous and some other extraordinary creature.